Hello, viewers. Trust you're having a wonderful time out there. All right, this is Learner's Art, where we try to help you make sense of some grammatical elements. Well, in our last section, we were talking to you about pronouns, and the focus was on how to be able to distinguish between the reflexive pronouns and the intensive pronouns. Maybe a little bit from that section. Now you remember the word myself, themselves are pronouns. There are about seven of them. All right, yourself, yourselves, herself, himself, and all of those ones. There are seven. All right. If you ask anyone to give examples of reflexive pronouns, these are the pronouns they mention. Also ask them to give examples of intensive pronoun. Well, for some people, they really do not know what intensive pronouns are. But interestingly, intensive pronouns and reflexive pronouns are the same. The myself you have for reflexive is also what you have for intensive. So for the big difference between them, I'm going to ask you to go to see one of our videos. You're going to find it there. So this is a continuation of our series on pronouns. So today we'll be looking at reciprocal pronouns and also reflexive pronouns. I'm sure you still remember that reflexive pronouns are easily identifiable. You can get to see them with a self ending, myself, themselves, ourselves, and all of those. These are just the self-ending words. Okay, for reciprocal pronouns, there are just only two in English. You have the each other, then you have the one another. So we're not going to be looking at it. We're not going to go into the traditional grammar, trying to learn the difference between each other and one another. And the difference is really very slim and easy with thinning out, in modern English. All right. So the focus is on the difference between it's on the difference between the reciprocal pronoun and the reflexive pronouns. Take for example, these guys are stingy. They only care about dash. These guys are stingy. They only care about dash. Themselves, each other. Do not forget, themselves is an example of a reflexive pronoun, while each other is an example of a reciprocal pronoun. So what do you think? These guys are stingy, they only care about themselves. Let's even sound a little bit funny. If you think about some of our friends out there, they say, okay, maybe each other sounds better, sounds more interesting. So for them, they believe that correctness, maybe sometimes a language, has a lot to do with, do I say soundability? That they maybe has something to do with palatability, the way it sounds. Does it sound palatable? Does it sound awkward? But that's not really the game. It's all about laws. It's all about awareness of rules. All right, so let's go back again. These guys are stingy, they only care about dash. Now, if they're stingy, it simply means there's no love between them. They don't care, all right? And that means they only care about themselves. You see, themselves connote stinginess. It connotes the love of oneself. It connotes selfish life or a life of self-interest. Okay, so the fact that they're stingy tells us they do not really care about other people. All right, they only care about themselves. And of course, I'm sure maybe you might know one or two persons in your friend circle or your family circle, maybe circle of colleagues that really care only about themselves. They do not care about the welfare of other colleagues or other people. All right, so in this case, we're going to say the answer is themselves. Now, for the other one, what a lovely couple. See how they care about dash. See how they care A about themselves. See how they care about each other. Now, let's think about it again. They are lovely couples. Okay, the fact that they are lovely, that they are lovely couple tells us that there is a love between them. All right, they really care about each other. Okay, so we wouldn't say they care about themselves. Themselves is going to give us an idea of stinginess, is going to give us an idea of self interest, is going to give us an idea of people who don't really care at all. Just a minute, let me pick up my blue pen so that I could actually circle the right one. I mean, it's going to be very important for a reference sake. All right, so let's see. These guys are stingy, they only care about themselves. And what a lovely couple, see how they care about each other. Now, you would remember the difference between them is for reciprocal pronouns. Don't forget there are just only two in English. Yeah, each other and one another. All right, we make use of them when we talk about love. All right, when we talk about selflessness. All right, each other, one another. Do they love each other? That means, does Mr. A love Mr. B, and is the love also mutual and vice versa? All right, but then if you think about these ones, themselves, ourselves, and the other one, such as myself, yourselves. Okay, you can think about the remaining one yourself. All right, maybe for example, himself, herself, and all of those ones. All right, all of these denote a little bit of self-centeredness. All right, he cares only about himself, and that shows a kind of that provides a picture of self-centeredness. All right, so Joe would say the class is a little bit brave today, and that's because we just want you to get a big difference between the reciprocal pronouns and the reflexive pronouns. And if I need to reiterate, it's just for you to know that one focuses on self-centeredness, and that is when you talk about the reflexive pronouns, while the other truly shows love, and that is each other and one another. All right, like I've mentioned, please, you can either the like button or the subscribe button. I'm going to see you in the next section. Remember, we have been talking to you about a series of pronoun uses. So in our next section, I want you to be there because I'm still going to be sharing with you a different understanding of pronouns. Thank you.